Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, Northern Light EMMC leadership and the Nurses Labor Union have reached a contract deal just ahead of a planned strike. We'll have that story ahead. Plus, fuel assistance programs say they're using what limited resources they have left to try to keep up with the demand. And a local radio station is hosting a broadcast fundraiser aimed to raise funds for TSA agents and Coast Guard members. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop. Craig Colson is off for the day. We'll have those stories and much more coming up. And as always, we thank you for joining us. And before we get into weather here real quick, there were some reports of a vehicle crash on mile marker 156, which is the Palmyra-Pittsfield area just a few moments ago. It was reported that a truck was smoking and a passenger was trapped. That's all the information I have currently, but as we know more, we will definitely tell you. And for the weather, the roads this morning may be a little bit slippery due to the snowfall yesterday, so just be sure to take it easy out there. But overall, it'll be a cloudy day today. Let's get a first check of our forecast. Devin Biggs joins us now.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. We have some advisories up. The winter weather advisory was allowed to expire at 5 a.m. this morning, so we're now done with that. It's just a gale warning that we're watching out for until 8 o'clock this evening. We have active surf along the coast at this moment in time. Now we've had snow reports across the region thanks to all the snow that we saw recently. Here's a few of those now at around 5 to 6 inches across parts of the state. Overall, a wide range of 2 to 5 inches across parts of the state from the snow last night. Here's a look at things. We're still going to have some snow across parts of the state throughout the daytime period today. They will be scattered in nature. Some additional accumulations possible, but nothing too ridiculous from here. Let's zoom things out. Here's that area low pressure with rain to the south, even some thunderstorms to the south, but for us, just some additional snow showers on the way today. Futurecast showing some additional snow showers today. Those will end tonight with the clouds breaking up as well, so some sunshine by Tuesday morning. Hourly forecast moving forward. Here we are with those clouds and snow showers. Temperature is in the 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. We'll see you a little later on. Well, first this morning, a Bucksport man was killed in a crash in Penobscot after authorities say he was ejected from his vehicle. According to the Hancock County Sheriff's Department, shortly before 8 p.m. on Saturday, deputies responded to a single vehicle crash on Front Ridge Road in Penobscot. They say that 35-year-old Zach McKenkin of Bucksport was traveling northwest towards Orland when his vehicle left the roadway, returned to the road, and rolled over before coming to rest. The sheriff's office says McKenkin was ejected from the vehicle and died as a result of his injuries sustained in that crash. According to authorities, speed and alcohol are believed to be a contributing factor to the crash, and it is currently under investigation. Meanwhile, Skowhegan Town Manager Nicholas Nadeau has died, according to an announcement from the Town Select Board yesterday. Nadeau took over as interim manager last May and was officially named town manager in June. The Select Board did not provide details surrounding his death, but noted in a letter addressed to town staff and residents, the Select Board will continue to maintain town operations and support staff during this difficult time. Skowhegan State Representative Jennifer Poirier shared a message on social media about Nadeau's death, saying that he was a wonderful person to work with and someone who cared about fiscal responsibility and was dedicated to making Skowhegan a better place, end quote. Authorities say a Milford man has been arrested for drug trafficking after discovering methamphetamine at his residence following a probation search. According to Penobscot County Sheriff's Office, deputies working with Maine Probation and Parole conducted a search at a home on French Settlement Road in Milford on Tuesday. As a result of that search, authorities seized 2 backpacks of interest. After obtaining a search warrant, they discovered 23.5 gross grams of methamphetamine inside one of those bags. The sheriff's office says 43-year-old Anthony St. Louis of Milford was arrested the next day and then taken to the Penobscot County Jail. He's being charged with unlawful trafficking of drugs. In other news this morning, an oil spill in Orrington forced a temporary road closure yesterday morning after a heating fuel tank tipped over. According to Assistant Fire Chief for Orrington Fire and Rescue, Mark Kenny, crews were called to a large spill on the Dow Road, deploying DEP pads and booms to contain it. The DEP and Clean Harbors were called for assistance, using a vacuum truck to remove the oil from the ground. Officials say crews were able to quickly contain the spill and prevent further damage.
Very smooth from us getting there and mitigating and stopping the leak to securing and damming, diking the spills. The units could not get onto the soft grass area, so it was safer to close the load for their safety.
The road was closed at 7 a.m. and was expected to reopen around 1 p.m. Kenny said the closure affected the area around Snow's Corner on Dow Road and the intersection of Dow Road and Johnson Mill Road. After the initial cleanup, the DEP will assess the site and continue to monitor it. Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center leadership and its nurses' labor union have reached a deal just ahead of a planned strike which was supposed to happen today. According to Northern Light health officials, the Maine State Nurses Association and Northern Light EMMC have reached a tentative agreement on a 3-year contract for the Bangor nursing staff. The contract includes pay increases for every union nurse ranging from 12% to 17% over the next 3 years. The Nurses Association says this comes after 8 months of bargaining for improvements in health, safety, and economic language in their union contract. Nurses credit their final success in this agreement to their solidarity and their imminent threat of a strike. We're told the union has officially withdrawn its strike notice, and the work stoppage that was planned has now been canceled. In a statement, Northern Light EMMC President Ava Collins said, quote, "We're pleased to have reached a tentative agreement that reflects our deep respect for our nursing team and their vital role in delivering exceptional patient care. This resolution ensures continuity for our patients and the community, and we're grateful for the dedication of everyone who worked towards this outcome," end quote. EMMC nurses will vote to ratify this contract on March 25th. A Bangor teenager is in custody charged with multiple counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. On February 26, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office received a complaint involving sexual exploitation of a child victim, allegedly by 19-year-old Sean Fleming of Bangor. The Sheriff's Office says the investigation revealed multiple victims and several years of alleged serious sexual abuse. Fleming was arrested Friday and is being held on $25,000 of bail. His charges include 5 counts of gross sexual assault, 10 counts of visual sexual aggression against a child, and unlawful sexual contact. In other news, a Maine lobsterman has petitioned the Supreme Court challenging a certain fishing regulation. The enforcement agency argues the requirements are necessary, while fishermen say they have gone too far. Our Alexa Kennedy with that story.
Frank Thompson, a fifth-generation fisherman, petitioned the U.S. Supreme Court challenging a rule that requires licensed lobstermen to install GPS tracking devices on their boats. The policy stems from regulations pushed by the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission and implemented by the Maine Department of Marine Resources. Officials say the tracking helps improve data on fishing activity, protect endangered whales, and support enforcement efforts. Thompson, along with many others in the lobstering community, believe the regulation has gone too far.
A lot of lobstermen who talked about the struggles they had under regulation after regulation. This was yet another one that impacted them adversely. Their business is under a lot of pressure and scrutiny, and many of them voiced how they felt like they're being treated like criminals.
PLF says the case raises major constitutional concerns, arguing that forcing fishermen to install trackers violates the Fourth Amendment. The case hinges on whether constant monitoring, even outside of fishing activity, crosses a constitutional line.
I don't think they've been involved and thought this all the way through. What looks good on paper does not look good in the real world.
Fishing for 45 years, Beal says policymakers are out of touch with lobster fishermen's reality. He also says if current regulations were adequately enforced, the GPS tracking wouldn't be necessary.
A lot more people have got to start paying attention. If you don't, you're going to lose your livelihood.
The Maine Department of Marine Resources chose not to comment on the pending litigation. Gilliam says PLF should hear back from the Supreme Court in 6 months. Alexa Kennedy reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
19-year-old Chance Lauer was found deceased last week after being missing for around 2 months. Now his family is making sure the UMaine student's memory lives on. On Friday, Lauer's family announced that Chance Lauer Travel Scholarship Fund, which aims to help students pay for the cost of international trips and studying abroad. In his obituary, Lauer's family wrote in part, quote, "He was fortunate to pack more experiences into his short life than most people ever will, including visiting 29 states and 27 countries on 4 continents, beginning at 6 months old, and learning to fly a plane while in middle and high school," end quote. They added that Lauer dreamed of traveling the world as a journalist, studying journalism and international affairs during his time at UMaine. If you would like to donate to that fund, you can do so through the Kennebec Savings Bank. More information is available on our website at foxbangor.com. Well, during the month of March, many Mainers are still relying on their heat. But with the cost of heat oil climbing, some may be forced to turn down the thermostat earlier than usual. As our Alex Schley reports, rising costs are stretching assistance programs to their limit.
As the price of heating oil continues to rise, organizations that provide fuel assistance say they're using what limited resources they have left to try to keep up with demand.
So far, we have hit 100% of the requests that have come in that are eligible for the first 100 gallons, and we've not had to say no yet, but I will say this year we were the closest we'd been.
According to the Maine Department of Energy Resources, prices have jumped more than 30% in the past month. In February, 100 gallons of heating oil cost around $380. Now that same amount is nearly $500. Leaders of assistance organizations say that spike is adding even more pressure to the budgets that are already stretched thin.
We are seeing a pretty high demand as we still have some brisk weather, and right now we have the lowest dollar amount we will have all year, just because of the highest dollar amount that we spend is on heating fuel right when there's no donations coming in.
President of the Maine's Veteran Project, Doc Goodwin, says the organization is working diligently to make sure they don't have to turn anyone away. The organization plans to cut off assistance earlier this year, in part to stretch what funding remains.
April 15th.
April 15th.
And which we've never done. We've gone right into May.
The Galen Cole Family Foundation runs a similar program focused on Aroostook County, where the heating season typically lasts longer. President Scott Oxley says while they still have some funding available, rising costs are still a concern with months left in the season. Alex Schley reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
The time now is 6:12. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, the Maine Veterans Project gifted a Vietnam veteran a much-needed car. We'll have the details ahead. But first, let's take another look at our forecast. For today, we have mostly cloudy skies with a chance of snow showers, temperatures right around 33. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy skies, temperatures dipping down to the high teens. And for tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, highs around 39. We'll be right back.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
This week on GMA, Miley Cyrus takes you home for the 20th anniversary of Hannah Montana.
It's like getting an additional birthday.
Plus, Lionel, Luke, and Carrie live, and Vince Vaughn.
That's awesome.
This week on
Good Morning America.
Last season, IndyCar champ Alex Palou rewrote the history books.
Can anyone catch it?
So what's next?
Every year, communities recognize outstanding service with the Spirit of America Foundation tribute. Do you know a local person or group that goes above and beyond for others? Nominate them today by contacting a select person, city, or town councilor. Help honor those who make a difference where you live. For more information, visit spiritofamerica.website.
this. The Maine Department of Transportation is closing the on-ramp for westbound I-395 on March 26. It will be closed from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a concrete deck replacement. DOT says drivers heading northbound on Route 202 toward I-395 should use exit 3B on I-395 onto Main Street in Bangor and then take the next ramp to get onto 395 westbound. Message boards are in place advising of that upcoming closure. Recently, TSA agents and members of the Coast Guard missed their first full paycheck since the partial government shutdown began in mid-February. Here in Maine, it's no different, and one local radio station is stepping in to help. On Saturday, March 28th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., WVII AM radio station will be hosting a special broadcast from inside Edwards Brothers Supermarket in Trenton. The broadcast will be hosted by Chris Popper, who says they'll be accepting cash donations, which will then be turned into gift cards for TSA agents at the Bangor International Airport, the Hancock County Bar Harbor Airport, and members of the Coast Guard stationed in Southwest Harbor. He says there are 7 TSA agents in Trenton, 50 in Bangor, and 90 coasties, as they are affectionately known, in Southwest Harbor, who will be receiving those donations.
One thing about Mainers is that they always take care of Mainers, and they always come through when people need help. And these TSA agents and these coasties, they need help.
According to Popper, those TSA agents and Coast Guard members can only accept gas, grocery, or restaurant gift cards at a value no higher than $20. For those who can attend next Saturday's broadcast, gift cards and cash can be dropped off at other locations across the area. To learn more, you can visit this story on our website. Well, an Air Force veteran says that a Maine nonprofit has given him his freedom back. Bruce Bissey, a Vietnam veteran from Cherryfield, says the Maine Veterans Project stepped in when he needed it most. Back in October, Bissey was on his way to a monthly appointment in Bangor for bladder cancer treatment when his car broke down. With his 20-year-old vehicle beyond repair, he says that he's had to rely on friends just to get around. But as of Friday, through the Maine Veterans Project vehicle donation program, Bissey is back behind the wheel.
One word, freedom, man, just to get out even, you know. I feel like I've had cabin fever all winter long. I just can't go anywhere, you know. It's the first time I've ever been without a car this long in my life, you know.
For more information on the Maine Veterans Project's vehicle donation program, you can head to our website at foxbangor.com. Well, an event in Bangor on Friday brought job seekers and potential employers together. The Maine Veterans Project once again organized a job fair at Hollywood Casino. Twin City Tire, Hannaford, and Northern Light Health were among the 12 different businesses at that event.
Trying to do this a little bit more relaxed way for anyone, not just vets, but for anyone to be able to come in and get that first leg in, that first impression out of the way.
Moreno says this allowed people to set up interviews after having an initial conversation. He says there was a good turnout for the job fair. Well, Dorian Pillsbury, better known as D-Max, is a young Brewer student and author known for his community leadership. Recently, he traveled to Washington, D.C. to share his work and his book, D-Max's Birthday Wish, with Senator Angus King and Susan Collins. Some of his countless projects throughout the state of Maine have included food drives, teddy bear drives, and classroom kindness initiatives. In a statement, D-Max's mother, Lisa Libertor, said, quote, "This trip was another reminder that meaningful work can travel farther than you imagine." The time now is 6:19. After the break, one of the busiest airports in the country was shut down after a collision on the tarmac overnight. More on that to come. Plus, an Ellsworth organization is looking to rehabilitate the old sheriff's home and jail. Those stories and more straight ahead on Good Morning Maine.
Chevy trucks are as capable and dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. You probably know one. Your sister. Your buddy. The ones who always show up. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Just announced. Get $8,360 total value on this 2026 Chevy Silverado. Plus, Costco Executive members can get a $1,250 members-only incentive.
Bring your new kitchen to life with help from the Kitchen, Bath, and Flooring Division by Hammond Lumber Company. Bring in your ideas or get inspired by Hammond's extensive showroom displays. Your Hammond sales rep will help you create a materials list and cost estimate, and Hammond's designers will help you visualize your space before the work begins. And Hammond delivers from 34 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Your new kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Brandywine Graphics makes it easy. We are the top source for screen printing, embroidery, branded merchandise, and direct-to-garment printing. With decades of experience, state-of-the-art equipment, and a commitment to excellence, why trust your apparel products with anyone else? And now, Brandywine Graphics can easily launch online stores for your school or organization. Simply design your products from brands like Eddie Bauer, Carhartt, and more. Share the link and we'll do the rest. Like we said, Brandywine Graphics makes it easy. Find out more at brandywinegraphics.com or at our Hamden location.
Despite the old Hancock County Sheriff's Home and Jail not being in use for around 50 years, the work to preserve its history refuses to be frozen in time. Recently, the historic building received a grant to help one Ellsworth organization's efforts to rehabilitate it. Our Doug Banks brings us inside the old Sheriff's Home and Jail in Ellsworth.
One light shines upon 1,000 stories.
This building is part of the face of downtown Ellsworth, the historic face.
Constructed in 1886, the old Hancock County Sheriff's Home and Jail was in operation until the early 1970s.
They're actually places where the two worlds meet.
When a new jail was built, plans were made to turn the historic building into a parking lot.
And that was the beginning of the Ellsworth Historical Society. It was determined by the committee that the building indeed was worthy of rehabilitation.
It's a sentiment that's carried through to today. Recently, the Historical Society received a Revitalize Me federal grant from the National Park Service for over $185,000. It's the latest in a slew of grants they've received since 2022, totaling around $832,000, all towards their multi-phase rehabilitation efforts.
This building and the culture that surrounds it celebrates the common man and the plight of people who were struggling to live. But I believe the jail really is a significant part of what began the Historical Society and what defines this particular Historical Society. It's a very important part of who we are.
In Ellsworth, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time now is 6:22. Let's get a full look at our forecast. Meteorologist Evan Biggs is in with the latest.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. We have advisories up. The winter weather advisory allowed to expire, so we're now done with that. It's gale warnings and small craft advisories still posted until 8 o'clock this evening, so we're now done with that. So here we go. Again, we have wave heights at around 5 to 6 feet. That's why we still have the gale warnings and small craft advisories. Again, the issue now is wave heights. Notice we still have 5 to 9 foot wave heights farther out towards sea at this moment in time. Meanwhile, here's a snow reports. We had snow falling last night, and again we have snow reports at around 5 to even 6 inches across the state. A wide range of 2 to 5 inches fell across the region, and we'll still see a little more snowfall that will fall today. Here's the last several hours with regards to the snowfall. This is clearing out. We'll still have some scattered snow showers across the state today, but the worst of it has since backed off. Here's that area low pressure that will continue to give us some snowfall today, but a good part of the U.S. pretty quiet out there this morning. So here's Futurecast. Again, some scattered snow showers out there today. They will back off later on tonight with the clouds breaking up too. So sunshine on the way as we head towards your Tuesday. Some more clouds on the way through Tuesday. By Tuesday night, another wave of a little bit of snow. It won't be anything too ridiculous. And then by Wednesday morning, nothing too ridiculous either. A good amount of sunshine. Here's what we're looking at for snow. Again, anything accumulating further off towards the west, a ½ inch to an inch. For us, barely anything, and that's about it. So for today, here's what we're looking at. Mostly cloudy, some snow showers with highs in the low 30s and that northeast wind at about 25 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, we have upper teens under a partly cloudy sky and that north wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tomorrow, we have upper 30s under a partly cloudy sky and that north wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, showing a mostly cloudy sky for your Wednesday with highs in the low 40s. Rain and snow chances Thursday, highs in the upper 40s. Mid-30s coming up Friday, a chance for rain and snow.
Lakeshore Restaurant in Dexter is open for the season, featuring a wide selection of seafood, lobster, salads, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget to save room for dessert. Dine in or take out at 16 Crockett Road in Dexter. Visit us today.
ABC 7, Fox 22. The place we call home, telling main stories wherever you roam. From sunrise shores to forests of pine, hard work, strong hearts, values that shine. From old towns to harbors, back roads to ocean blue. Neighbors helping neighbors in all that we do. Through storms and clear skies, day after day, we're here with the stories that matter in Maine. From mountains to sea, standing strong and true. This is Maine, this is home on ABC 7, Fox 22.
Lakeshore Restaurant in Dexter is open for the season, featuring a wide selection of seafood, lobster, salads, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget to save room for dessert. Dine in or take out at 16 Crockett Road in Dexter. Visit us today.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The State Department has issued an alert for Americans traveling out of the country, urging people to exercise increased caution, warning groups supportive of Iran may target other U.S. interests overseas or locations associated with the U.S. and/or Americans throughout the world. This comes as the war enters a fourth week with a new threat from President Trump. ABC's Sophie Flay has the details.
This morning, the clock is ticking down to a new deadline in the Middle East. President Trump has given Iran until tonight to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a critical shipping lane for global oil supplies. Or, he says, the U.S. will obliterate Iran's power plants. But Iran defiant, threatening to respond by hitting target water and energy sites across the Mideast.
The danger with attacking infrastructure is that your infrastructure can be hit in return. So in the Gulf states, not only is it the oil and gas, which is the lifeblood of those countries, but it's the desalination plants. It's where they get their water. They're known targets, and they're not hard for the Iranians to hit.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent defending President Trump's strategy.
Sometimes you have to escalate to de-escalate.
Analysts warn today is the day average gas prices in the U.S. could top $4 per gallon. The average was below $3 before the war. These states across the South and Southwest are seeing some of the steepest increases at the pump.
The gas prices are ridiculous. You know, you have a lot of people who are out here really surviving, and groceries are high, now the gas prices are increasing.
Meanwhile, Iran again targeting Israel. A ballistic missile slamming into the city of Dimona, and a second Iranian strike in the nearby city of Arad, both near an Israeli nuclear research center, both hitting residential neighborhoods, injuring dozens.
Look at the way the blast ripped away the facade of that building. The missile hit here, right in amongst these residential blocks. We're told dozens of people, families were inside at the time. This could have been much worse.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
One of the busiest airports in the country shut down after a deadly crash overnight. 2 people are dead after a plane crashed into a truck on the ground at LaGuardia Airport. More than a dozen injuries are also reported. ABC's Hannah Battah has that story.
Overnight, New York's LaGuardia Airport closed after an Air Canada Express flight collided with a fire truck on the tarmac.
But there's probably 200 police officers and emergency response vehicles, and that plane is suspended on top of a vehicle.
Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop.
Air traffic data shows Air Canada flight 8646 from Montreal landed at LaGuardia at 11:40 p.m. Sometime shortly after touching down, the plane collided nose first with a fire truck.
Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle there. Just hold position. I know you can't move. The vehicle's there responding to you now.
Images show the plane's nose destroyed. The entire plane tilted up into the air. LaGuardia closing down immediately. The FAA issuing a ground stop for all planes headed to the airport.
Del 2603, go around. Runway heading 2000.
Air traffic controllers scrambling to divert other planes.
LaGuardia Airport is closed at this time. No aircraft in or out.
Moments before the incident, the truck could be heard asking controllers for permission to cross a runway. A controller apparently giving permission.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower requesting to cross 4 at Delta. Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta. Truck 1 and Company crossing 4 at Delta.
Just last year, the FAA allowed airlines to operate fewer flights into New York due to congestion and air traffic control concerns. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Families are waiting hours at airports across the country as TSA workers go another week without a paycheck. Now President Trump is ordering immigration agents to step in. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with more.
This morning, travel chaos during the busy spring break travel rush as TSA workers call out of work in record numbers, triggering hours-long lines.
We got here 5 hours early. Fingers crossed we make it. Yeah.
A record 3,250 agents, more than 11.5% of the TSA workforce, calling out nationwide on Saturday. And TSA says places like Houston, New Orleans, Atlanta, and New York's JFK all had call-out rates between about 30 and 40%. The president now ordering ICE agents into airports across the country to help the TSA. Sources tell ABC News these additional federal officers are being deployed to 14 airports where they're expected to help with crowd control and manage security lines.
But there are roles we can play to release TSA officers from the non-significant roles, such as guarding an exit, so they can get back to the scanning machines and move people quicker.
It comes as the partial government shutdown stretches on. Lawmakers have been at a standstill over how to fund the Department of Homeland Security, but there is some possible movement. Democrats demanding immigration enforcement reforms said Sunday that some Senate Republicans now side with them to fund TSA separately from the rest of Homeland Security, so TSA agents can get paid. But they're blasting the idea of having ICE agents in airports.
The last thing that the American people need are for untrained ICE agents to be deployed at airports all across the country, potentially to brutalize or in some instances kill them.
I can see we're having more law enforcement officials at airports to relieve some of the pressure on TSA. Might help to expedite these lines.
And the TSA's My TSA app has also been affected during the funding fight. So travel experts recommend checking airport websites ahead of time and arriving at least 2 to 3 hours ahead of your flight. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll learn about a wellness practice that's becoming a trend where people immerse themselves in nature. This and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
There are so many fun things to do in Maine. Now you can enjoy more for less. Check out half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Unwind with a massage. Let me take away the stress of everyday life and allow you to fully relax. I offer Swedish, deep tissue, and prenatal massage. Healing Strength Massage in Bangor is your place for relaxing therapeutic massage.
There's a limited supply available. It's on sale right now. Save with half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Are you in need of remodeling your bathroom? Want to convert your tub into a safe walk-in shower? Call the experts at Bangor Bathrooms by Design now. They offer complete bathroom remodels, and from start to finish, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call them now and save thousands. 659-6457. Enjoy that brand new bathroom you've always wanted from Bangor Bathrooms by Design. Transforming bathrooms, elevating lives. Got old metal and junk cars? Turn that clutter into cash at Daddy and Daughters. We make recycling easy, fast, and fair. From Skowhegan to Dover Foxcroft, from Troy to Lee, you can trust our certified scales and friendly service, offering top prices for junk vehicles in Maine. Whether you drop off or we pick up, Daddy and Daughters covers central and eastern Maine. Come see us at one of our 4 locations and watch your scrap pay off. Daddy and Daughters turn scrap into cash.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
No matter how good of a day you're having, everyone usually needs an opportunity to pause and reset. And as we keep springing into spring, people need a break from reality and are clearing their minds and finding mental and physical health benefits, all with the help of a growing trend referred to as forest bathing. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at what it's all about.
With the weather warming up, more people are flocking to the outdoors.
When I'm here, it's almost like a protective bubble around me. It provides a shield.
And a growing number are turning to a trend called forest bathing. While it's not an actual bath, the act is based on a Japanese wellness practice where people immerse themselves in nature and engage all their senses to connect with the environment around them.
So forest therapy at its core is really a nature-based mindfulness activity. So it's actually a lovely way for people to reconnect with nature, to reconnect with aspects of themselves.
Unlike a hike up a mountain, forest bathing is more about relaxing and being present in the moment. Trained forest therapy guides can lead groups, like this one in Raleigh, North Carolina, through breathing exercises and help them center their focus.
Really focusing on your breath, on your footsteps, all the natural sounds around you.
Forest bathing is known to not only reduce stress and elevate moods.
I think it's important for people to take the opportunity to exist in natural spaces, both to unwind and relax so it can be easier to interact with other people, and to take a moment to appreciate beautiful things.
But also help improve people's immune systems and lower blood pressure.
Just remembering that we're part of something bigger, that we're all connected, and that what we do in our actions that we take really matter to the rest of the world.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
Now let's turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. We have some advisories up. The winter weather advisory was allowed to expire at 5 a.m. this morning, so we're now done with that. It's just a gale warning that we're watching out for until 8 o'clock this evening. We have active surf along the coast at this moment in time. Now we've had snow reports across the region thanks to all the snow that we saw recently. Here's a few of those now at around 5 to 6 inches across parts of the state. Overall, a wide range of 2 to 5 inches across parts of the state from the snow last night. Here's a look at things. We're still going to have some snow across parts of the state throughout the daytime period today. They will be scattered in nature. Some additional occasional accumulations possible, but nothing too ridiculous from here. Let's zoom things out. Here's that area low pressure with rain to the south, even some thunderstorms to the south. But for us, just some additional snow showers on the way today. Futurecast showing some additional snow showers today. Those will end tonight with the clouds breaking up as well. So some sunshine by Tuesday morning. Hourly forecast moving forward. Here we are with those clouds and snow showers. Temperature is in the 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. Now for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. We're the rest of us.
Project Hail Mary launched to the top of the weekend box office, taking in $80.5 million. It's the biggest opening ever for Amazon's MGM Studios. The sci-fi drama stars Ryan Gosling as a science teacher who wakes up light years from Earth and sets out on a mission to save the planet.
You want to live here, you better learn pond rules.
What are pond rules?
Oh, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Bouncing into second place was Disney and Pixar's Hoppers. The animated film took in $5.4 million domestically and has grossed more than $168 million worldwide. Disney is the parent company of ABC News. A heartfelt essay from Amanda Peet over the weekend. The 54-year-old actress writing in The New Yorker, she was diagnosed with breast cancer last fall. She says she got the news while also dealing with her parents who were both dying in hospice care. Peet says her diagnosis is treatable. And the star of TV's Felicity and the Americans turns 49 today. Happy birthday to Kerry Russell. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
Still to come here this morning, Max Sturm with sports. Don't go away.
Seasons Lounge and Banquet Center. We're just one block from Hollywood Slots in Bangor and are now under new management with a new chef and a completely redesigned menu. Come grab a drink and enjoy a meal with us. Fans, food, fun. Seasons.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard.
Tired of worrying whether your credit will hold you back from getting a car? At Down East Credit Union, we believe everyone deserves reliable transportation, even with less than perfect credit. Let us guide you every step of the way. If your credit score is under 670 or you've had setbacks like bankruptcy or repossession, that doesn't mean you're out of options. We'll help you get pre-approved, guide you through car shopping, and work with you on a plan to rebuild your credit. Reach out to Down East Credit Union today. Let's get you on the road confidently. Seasons Lounge and Banquet Center. We're just one block from Hollywood Slots in Bangor and are now under new management with a new chef and a completely redesigned menu. Come grab a drink and enjoy a meal with us. Fans, food, fun. Seasons.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. You may remember a week or so ago, Jack Webb went down to TD Garden to provide coverage of Cooper Flagg's debut in Boston. While he was there, he was able to catch up with Flagg's middle school trainer, Matt McKenzie. So it's only right that we bring you that interview now.
All right, Matt, I mean, what, just probably feels like a blank. A couple of years ago, you were working out with middle school flag boys, and here you are at the TD Garden watching Coop about to put on a show in front of thousands of Mainers and making his parquet debut. I mean, what are the emotions you're feeling right now?
It's very surreal. You know, growing up a lifelong Boston Celtics fan, being from New England, being from Maine, coming down here to attend Boston Celtics games growing up, and Cooper and Ace doing the same thing. Just very surreal feeling. You know, you see the sea of green here when you walk in, and just so much history in this building. And, you know, it's going to be a very special night for Cooper and for all of Maine, really.
It certainly is, and you got a bunch of Mainers who are coming down as Celtics fans. They get the return of Jason Tatum as well. I mean, you couldn't have drawn it up better than that. What do you kind of make of this just massive night here at the Garden?
It's just going to be very special. Obviously, two storylines coming into the game with Cooper coming back, and then obviously, hopefully the return of Tatum. So I think it's going to be very loud. I'm expecting to see at least 50% capacity being Mainers in the Garden tonight. And so I'm just really excited to kind of see a lot of familiar faces and see what kind of reception the hometown kid gets.
Certainly, and I mean, for you, you probably started this as just your passion for basketball, right? I mean, it's not like you had the intention of being here, watching Cooper warm up and impacting an athlete like that. What is this like for you in your own basketball journey to be here right now?
It means a lot, you know, and it just goes back to, you know, we talk to these kids about dreaming big and really setting your goals high. And Cooper told me when he was in the 7th grade that he envisioned himself playing here one day, and he meant it. And sure enough, here we are, fast forward several years, and he has an opportunity to step on the floor tonight as a starter in the NBA and play in the arena that he visited so often as a young kid. So it's just incredibly special.
As you interact with more youth players, right, because it's not like you stopped, can you feel that impact Cooper's made on the youth here in Maine in the way they dream?
Absolutely, yeah. He's such a great ambassador for Maine basketball. He sets the example. He's at the pinnacle of it, and so many young basketball players look up to him. And he's just an incredible role model. Just the way he carries himself on and off the court. He plays the right way, and you know, I think that kids can kind of look at him as like that example, you know, for years to come now.
Lifelong Celtics fan. Obviously, you got the flag ties. Who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for Cooper Flag.
There we go. Smart answer, right? That is the answer. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for that, Jack. Time to check in with the Husson University and the men's lacrosse team, who played their first in-conference game of the season on Saturday versus Anna Maria. The Eagles are coming off of a big win over Castleton. Anna Maria looking for just their 2nd win of the season. Getting things started early were the Eagles' first score comes from Kieran Field, who had himself a day, and it's 1-0 Husson early. But the Amcats respond fast. Nicholas Hussa gets past the defender and takes it himself, lays it past the goaltender to even the score at 1. That's about as close as the game would get, though, as the Eagles began to fly away. Jake Sargent is the next to score on the big run, sniping the goal from outside. A little casual selly. Husson takes off, then Taylor Swalje hits Drew Clinch in front of the goal for an easy one. He has a goal and 3 assists in the first quarter. Then Field strikes again. He'd finished the day with 8 total goals, a new personal best from the proven midfielder. And lastly, right off the face-off, great ball movement. Ball eventually gets to Evan Carmody, who picks the corner, and the Eagles go on to win 27-8. Lastly, an exciting new partnership has been announced with the New England Patriots. The Pats have announced that they have reached a long-term deal with New Balance to be the official partner of the team. The agreement will come to life in the form of performance and community events, as well as brand new facilities, including a brand new state-of-the-art training facility, which the Pats will unveil to the world at some time this spring. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
At the County Federal Credit Union, we value the trust our members place in us to act in their best interest. Whether it's providing low rates on consumer loans or raising money to end hunger, we work hard to serve our members and the communities in which they live. We are excited to bring the meaningful and impactful work we do to all Mainers as we continue to grow. Wherever you are in life's journey, count on the county to be your financial partner.
Most business problems start with one thing: unreliable technology. Digital Brains monitors, protects, and maintains your entire IT environment, keeping everything running flawlessly. When your technology works for you, your business starts thriving. Faster service, happier clients, more productivity, less stress. Clients don't wait, neither should you. Contact Digital Brains today for your free technology assessment. Digital Brains, we help people feel free.
Diabetes isn't a death sentence, but it is absolutely a life sentence, and you have to figure out how you're going to keep your kid alive. So when you find somebody from the government that's on your side, and it happens to be Susan Collins at the same time, that was just magnificent. After the meeting in Portland for my wife and son, my wife came back. She was 10 feet tall. She'd felt seen, she felt heard, and she felt like we had a powerful advocate on our side. No, it was a big step towards healing.
Thank you, Senator Collins.
Please continue delivering for T1 family.
Look out, Harry Styles. Steven Spencer is hot on your heels. This music professor has been going viral on social media, and it's not just because the songs are so catchy. ABC's Danny New with that story.
There was an apple man. Millions online are falling in love with the music of Steven Spencer. featuring lyrics contributed by an unseen prodigy.
You could not have thought of Little Tall Prince. Nobody could.
No. I mean, yeah, this is so clearly from the mind of a 3-year-old.
Over the past 5 months, Stephen has been taking stories invented by his 3-year-old daughter, whom he prefers to keep out of the limelight.
There was a purple bear princess. She was a grown-up dog.
And turning them into these breezy gems from his living room.
If I'm lucky, I will record them on my phone and I'll have audio. Sometimes she'll start telling me a story and I don't have my phone. And I don't want to stop and go get it.
By trade, Stephen is a composer who teaches music at New York's Hunter College, and he says he was already experimenting with writing pop music when, around October,
There was a little woman who liked wiggling so much. She liked wiggling.
his daughter started telling the story of a wiggling woman, and he recorded it verbatim. Naturally, inspiration for these songs can come from anywhere, like with the song Regular Rabbit.
There was one just regular rabbit. She had regular ponytails just like me.
Which Stephen says came about when she learned the word regular.
She was like, this is my regular phone and my regular dinner and my regular mom and my regular dad. And it was just everything was regular. So she told the story and that's how she started. She was like, there was one just regular rabbit.
And while these videos can make you laugh, some of the comments online have actually turned emotional. One commenter writing, "I'm going to be so sad when she learns proper verb conjugation."
Music was just felt like a really natural way to kind of make those impermanent moments feel like they could last longer.
And Stephen has started releasing these songs on streaming platforms, with Little Tall Prince dropping a few weeks ago and Important Mermaid coming next. By the way, Stephen says he's received messages from parents saying now their kids want to try writing songs too. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Now, here's meteorologist Devin Biggs with our full weather forecast.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. We have advisories up. The winter weather advisory allowed to expire, so we're now done with that. It's gale warnings and small craft advisories still posted until 8 o'clock this evening, so we're now done with that. So here we go. Again, we have wave heights at around 5 to 6 feet. That's why we still have the gale warnings and small craft advisories. Again, the issue now is wave heights. Notice we still have 5 to 9 foot wave heights farther out towards sea at this moment in time. Meanwhile, here's a snow reports. We had snow falling last night. And again, we have snow reports at around 5 to even 6 inches across the state. A wide range of 2 to 5 inches fell across the region, and we'll still see a little more snowfall that will fall today. Here's the last several hours with regards to the snowfall. This is clearing out. We'll still have some scattered snow showers across the state today, but the worst of it has since backed off. Here's that area low pressure that will continue to give us some snowfall today, but a good part of the U.S. pretty quiet out there this morning. So here's Futurecast. Again, some scattered snow showers out there today. They will back off later on tonight with the clouds breaking up too. So sunshine on the way as we head towards your Tuesday. Some more clouds on the way through Tuesday. By Tuesday night, another wave of a little bit of snow. It won't be anything too ridiculous. And then by Wednesday morning, nothing too ridiculous either. A good amount of sunshine. Here's what we're looking at for snow. Again, anything accumulating further off towards the west, a ½ inch to an inch. For us, barely anything, and that's about it. So for today, here's what we're looking at. Mostly cloudy, some snow showers with highs in the low 30s, and that northeast wind at about 25 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, we have upper teens under a partly cloudy sky, and that north wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tomorrow, we have upper 30s under a partly cloudy sky, and that north wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, showing a mostly cloudy sky for your Wednesday with highs in the low 40s. Rain and snow chances Thursday, highs in the upper 40s. Mid 30s coming up Friday, a chance for rain and snow.
Keep your next building project on track when you plan ahead with help from Hammond Lumber Company. Hammond's Home Planning Center specialists offer professional plans with customizable 3D renderings available to bring your project to life. Once your design is finalized and approved, you'll receive a full materials list. And when you buy all your materials from them, Hammond will refund your design fees. Get your building project off to the right start when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Welcome to outdoor living. Welcome to Granville Stone and Hearth. Goodness knows we've been cooped up long enough. Make plans now to enjoy the outside of your home too. Come to Granville and see, touch, and imagine what you can do in your backyard. Light a path, light a fire, grill a meal, sit a bit. It's all in stock. There's a staycation right outside your door with expert help from Granville, one of the largest outdoor living suppliers in Maine. Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
Nothing like a day in the job to remind you how quickly life can change. Get out of there.
Get away from the bed!
We'll stay strong.
You claim bamboo is growing in your neighbor's yard and it's invading your yard.
You know, they had to bring a backhoe in. They filled up a 10-yard dumpster just with root.
Hot Bench. Monday at 3 on ABC 7.
Ellsworth High School principal Dan Clifford found himself in a sticky situation on Friday, but for a good cause. As a fundraiser to benefit the Ellsworth High School class of 2027 and their activities, students pitched in small donations to purchase strips of duct tape. During the lunch period, those duct tape strips were put to good use, suspending Principal Clifford up against the wall. In the end, $200 was raised for the junior class, and Mr. Clifford is still likely picking duct tape off of his clothing. Well, it's a fierce cat petition. More than 200 cats across southeastern Europe are competing in the Sophisticat Feline Expo in Beercrest. The 2-day event drawing thousands of feline lovers. Organizers call the event the Oscars of the feline world, with the highly coveted Black Sea winner prize on the line. Besides checking out all the cute cats, attendees also browse cat food, hygiene products, clothing, and bags. Well, that's all the time that we have left for this hour, but you can join us for the second hour of Good Morning Maine. That's next on Fox 22. Have a great day, everyone.
Want to save $1,000? Switch to Spectrum and we guarantee.
And opened the door, and there was about 12 to 14 inches of water in our basement. I knew who to call right away, and that was Bouchard. They were here within a half hour. They work well with our insurance company. They're very, very efficient, and all I have to do is call them any time of day. They're going to take care of me. Our business is our life, and that's why I don't hesitate to recommend them to other people.
Your call is important to us.
You've heard this before, too many times. Tired of being customer 45978? Yeah, we would be too. Speed means fast uploads, no lag, and zero buffering. But it also means calling you back, showing up on time, and treating you like a person, not a problem. So whether you're working, streaming, gaming, or all three, it is time to make the switch to a provider that actually tries. Go NetSpeed. Service isn't dead. It just moved local.
Ready to create your backyard oasis? Alexander's Professional Landscaping will work with you to create your perfect outdoor space. Work one-on-one with our landscape designer to create a unique garden to fit your family's personal aesthetics and lifestyle. Have our pros install your new lawn, garden, or patio. Schedule a consultation today by calling 573-4497. Alexander's Professional Landscaping, the way landscaping should be.
Every year, communities recognize outstanding service with the Spirit of America Foundation Tribute. Do you know a local person or group that goes above and beyond for others? Nominate them today by contacting a select person, city or town councilor. Help honor those who make a difference where you live. For more information, visit spiritofamerica.website.
Good Morning Maine on WFVX, Fox 22. From the Great North Woods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, Northern Light EMMC leadership and the Nurses Labor Union have reached a contract deal just ahead of a planned strike. We'll have that story ahead. Plus, fuel assistance programs say they are using what limited resources they have left to try to keep up with the demand. And a local radio station is hosting a broadcast fundraiser aimed to raise funds for TSA agents and Coast Guard members. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop. Craig Colson is off for the day. We'll have those stories and much more coming up. And as always, we thank you for joining us. The roads this morning may be a little slippery due to the snowfall yesterday, so definitely take it easy out there this morning. But overall, it will be a cloudy day today. Let's start off this morning by getting